Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Mistakes are always forgivable if one has the courage to admit them. There is no love without forgiveness, and there is no forgiveness without love. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. I believe forgiveness is the best form of love in any relationship. It takes a strong person to say they're sorry and an even stronger person to forgive. Forgiveness is above all a personal choice, a decision of the heart to go against natural instinct to pay back evil with evil. Forgiveness is a sign that the person who has wronged you means more to you than the wrong they have dealt. Always forgive your enemies, nothing annoys them so much. Thankfully, forgiveness and the healing it brings in its wake has nothing to do with deserve. Selfishness must always be forgiven, you know, because there is no hope of a cure. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Forgiveness is not weak. It takes courage to face and overcome powerful emotions. It's toughest to forgive ourselves, so it's probably best to start with other people. It's almost like peeling an onion, layer by layer, forgiving others. You really do get to the point where you can forgive yourself. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, to forgive. Forgive everybody. Holding a grudge doesn't make you strong, it makes you bitter. Forgiving doesn't make you weak, it sets you free. Forgiveness is for you, not the other person. It's something you do inside yourself that you feel in your body and heart that releases you from your past and frees you to live life fully. As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. Life is too short. I forgive and forget. I have not time to get mad or hate. Forgiveness does not mean ignoring what has been done or putting a false label on an evil act. It means rather that the evil act no longer remains as a barrier to the relationship. Forgiveness is a catalyst creating the atmosphere necessary for a fresh start and a new beginning. Forgiveness says you are given another chance to make a new beginning. Anger makes you smaller, while forgiveness forces you to grow beyond what you are. If one by one we counted people out for the least sin, it wouldn't take us long to get so we had no one left to live with, for to be social is to be forgiving. There is no revenge so complete as forgiveness. We win by tenderness, we conquer by forgiveness. You can't forgive without loving, and I don't mean sentimentality, I don't mean mush. I mean having enough courage to stand up and say, I forgive, I'm finished with it. When a deep injury is done to us, we never recover until we forgive. Forgiveness isn't approving what happened, it's choosing to rise above it. Surely it is much more generous to forgive and remember than to forgive and forget. To err is human, to forgive divine. Children begin by loving their parents, and after a time they judge them. Rarely, if ever, do they forgive them. Never forget the three powerful resources you always have available to you: love, prayer, and forgiveness. He that cannot forgive others breaks the bridge over which he must pass himself, for every man has need to be forgiven. Anger begets more anger, and forgiveness and love lead to more forgiveness and love. Sins cannot be undone, only forgiven. Forgiveness is the key to action and freedom. Forgive, forget, bear with the faults of others as you would have them bear with yours. Man has two great spiritual needs. One is for forgiveness, the other is for goodness. A mistake is always forgivable, rarely excusable, and always unacceptable. Only the brave know how to forgive. A coward never forgave. It is not in his nature. Let us not listen to those who think we ought to be angry with our enemies and who believe this to be great and manly. Nothing is so praiseworthy, nothing so clearly shows a great and noble soul as clemency and a readiness to forgive. As you know, when you've experienced grace and you feel like you've been forgiven, you're a lot more forgiving of other people. You're a lot more gracious to others. Many times, the decisions we make affect and hurt your closest friends and family the most. I have a lot of regrets in that regard, but God has forgiven me, which I'm very thankful for. It has enabled me to forgive myself and move forward one day at a time. I learned a long time ago that some people would rather die than forgive. It's a strange truth, but forgiveness is a painful and difficult process. It's not something that happens overnight, it's an evolution of the heart. You will know that forgiveness has begun when you recall those who hurt you and feel the power to wish them well.